Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Kirsten, vet here at ManyPets, and today we are going to talk about one of the most common problems that I see in clinical practice, and that is vomiting. So we'll talk about what are some things that you can do at home for their gut and when it's time to call the vet. Firstly, it's important to note that one episode of vomiting at home when your pet is otherwise happy and not showing other clinical signs, as well as still wants to eat their food, is usually not going to be a big deal. It may be safe to monitor at home. We all know as pet owners that vomit happens, but here are some things you can do to support their gut. So typically, I don't recommend withholding food for extended periods of time after one single episode of vomiting, and this is especially true for puppies and small dogs as it can affect their sugar levels. For otherwise healthy animals, you can wait a tiny bit of time and offer a small amount of their regular food or a small amount of something easily digestible like boiled chicken and white rice. I get a lot of pet parents asking me if it's safe or if they should feed canned pumpkin or canned squash to their pets with GI upset. It is safe and it is a good option for something bland, but I tend to get that question a lot more when it comes to cases of diarrhea, which we're gonna talk a little bit more in our video about what to do if my pet's having diarrhea. Instead, in these cases, I'm typically going to recommend that we start by feeding our pet smaller, more frequent meals after an episode of tummy upset. If they can keep down another small meal soon after, it's okay to wait a few hours and then try and offer a little bit more. Just remember that if you're feeding something bland like chicken or rice in cases of GI upset, that's totally fine in the short term, but in the long term, it's not going to be nutritionally balanced. If you think your pet is gonna do better on something that is more easily digestible, it's best to talk to your vet or a boarded veterinary nutritionist to help pick something that is going to be feasible long term. So when should you call your vet about your pet's vomiting? Call if you see any of the following signs. If your pet has vomited more than once in a short period of time, if your pet has recurrent episodes of vomiting over multiple days, if your pet seems agitated or in pain, if your pet has a history of chronic disease or is on any chronic or long-term medications, if your pet has had a known toxin exposure, for example, things like chocolate, raisins, or human medication, if you spot any blood in the vomit, this can be something like bright red blood, but it can also be something dark that looks more like coffee grounds. Ugh. If you notice that your pet is showing any other signs of illness, such as lethargy, diarrhea, lack of appetite, or general changes in their behavior. Vomiting is such a common issue, and there is a long list of causes. Some of our most common gut-based conditions that cause vomiting will include things like allergies, parasites, bacterial and viral infections, inflammatory conditions of the gut, or even something as simple as a gut obstruction, pets eating things that they shouldn't be that are causing a blockage. Finally, keep calm and vigilant. One episode of vomiting in an otherwise happy, healthy pet might not be anything to worry about, but if you do notice repeated episodes or other clinical signs, it's best to call your vet sooner rather than later.